We are live on Proline TV, the Our Lads Football Network. We're talking NFC South right here as we preview the NFL season, and that means Rashad Beard is joining us. Panther Nation Podcast. How's it going, Rashad?
I'm good. I got a question for you though. I gotta ask this question each time I come up here. I gotta ask: Am I first?
No.
Okay, great. That's a great start. That is a great start. I'm not first.
No, you are. You're up there close to.
That's all right. That's all right.
Not first.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. As long as I'm not first, we're good. It means we're progressing up the ranks. You
are.
Know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah, well, Cleveland was first.
There we go. See, I like that. I like that. I like that. I'll take it.
That's it. I agree. I have a lot of confidence in what's going on in Carolina, like you do, and. I'm just hoping, like you do, that not as much as you, that they can get through training camp and preseason healthy, because that's the one thing I was just refamiliarizing myself with the depth chart before the show and realizing that while there's a lot to like, there's also at several positions situations where the team cannot afford injuries. If they get, especially, it looks like in that secondary to me, where if they were to lose, one or two key players there, they might be in a lot of trouble. But that's what happens when your personnel hasn't been, put together the proper way for quite a long time. As you know, it takes some time to build depth.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that is great news for the Carolina Panthers. Knock on some wood right here. You know what I mean? That we are doing very well from an injury standpoint. We got guys coming back that are going to instantly make our defense better, i.e. Derek Brown was a huge part of our missing part from our defense last year. And he is back healthy, cleared to play, back at practice. And that is awesome news. The only injury of sort that we have right now is going to be Chandler Zavala, who has a banged up knee. And we have Tommy Tremble, who is also on the PUP. So Tommy Tremble, who is our tight end, one of our tight ends. I would say he's a starter, but we have Jatavion Sanders too, kind of two starting tight ends. So yeah, I don't know that we're gonna miss him, but we also have Mitchell Evans, who we just drafted. So Tommy Tremble being injured, we'd like to get him back for his blocking ability, very physical tight end, and then Chandler Zavala is a depth offensive lineman, a guard. So again, from the injury front, we're looking okay.
What's the status on both of them?
Zavala's going to be week to week. I think he's not bad. He didn't tear anything. I think it's a patella tendon. He didn't rupture anything like that. So he's good to go. Should be back sometime soon. Tommy Tremble, I do not know. He's on the PUP right now. I think there was talks that he was going to be ready by week 1, but I don't know. I think the last time I heard Canales talk about it, he said that he's going to have to, progress every week to show that he can come back. But I would anticipate we see him at some point during training camp. Hopefully he gets activated and then is ready to go at some point early during the season. So nothing long term.
Okay. So yeah, let's start off with that secondary, because this looked to me, we were going over the draft needs in the offseason, or just the offseason needs before free agency and the draft. And it looked like the Panthers were able to take care of a lot of the needs that we went over, except for corner. Mm-hmm. They did upgrade their safety position. We've talked about that. They look really good there now. Nice little 1-2 deal there. And maybe even 3 with the rookie. But at corner, just looking at this depth chart, as I said, one injury, God forbid it's not JC Horn, but one injury to any of those starting 3 corners, and all of a sudden, I don't even know who these guys are.
Right. So I know who they are. That's
what you're doing here.
Yeah, for sure. But you're absolutely right. I think that here's the thing. Dan Morgan and Dave Canales, if you ask anyone from the Panthers fan base, we were all scratching our heads too. Why haven't we brought in another corner? Like what's going on here? But I really think they like the guys that they have. I think when we've heard Shamar Bartholomew, we've heard his name a lot. I mean, you've got the Jets logo. He's a former Jet.
He does.
He's a former Jet. And
I
think
still don't know who he is.
Yeah. So just like Frankie Louvu, we're hoping that a former Jet pays
There
off
you
for the
go.
Carolina Panthers. These guys are bigger cornerbacks, so they're all 6 foot taller or taller, and they're 200-pound guys. They're all bigger, physical cornerbacks, and so they like Shamar Bartholomew a lot. And I've heard his name a whole ton. And again, the key thing is this: we're not asking him to be a CB2, right? He's a
Nope.
depth guy. So that's important. So I do think Shamar Bartholomew is going to be a solid depth play. They like a Caleb Evans as well. A Caleb Evans is another guy. I've heard his name a lot. I heard him brought up, I think the other day when Canales was doing an interview, they brought his name up and they said he's playing well. Now, another guy who we drafted last year who was playing very well, he's getting a lot of buzz right now, Shaw Smith-Wade. If you go back in the archives, and I said that, listen, I called myself out. I did not like this pick when we first drafted him. If you go back and listen to any of my draft recaps, I didn't like him. This kid is playing very well. I've heard his name a lot. They really like where he is, and he's going to get some play at nickel. This kid is also having a very good camp. So although you may not know who these guys are, I think that the staff really has high hopes for some of these guys to show up and prove. And again, if any team experiences any kind of injuries, your depth is going to have to show up. So obviously, we don't want to miss J.C. Horn. We don't want to miss Mike Jack. But these guys, the first two guys are very good. Everybody else, they're going to have to show up if necessary.
So the two guys to keep an eye on away from those top three starters, you're saying are going to be Bartholomew and Evans. So keep an eye on those two young corners.
And Shaw Smith-Wade. You're going to see Shaw Smith-Wade. He's in a nickel right now. Depending on the packages, you're going to see him a lot as well.
He's going to start, right?
Yeah, it just depends on the package. But yes, yes.
All right. What about all of these? Now, again, for the RLED step charts, the Aqua players, those are the college free agents. Mm-hmm. And there are 6 of them, actually 7 of them at camp. The only one that I am familiar with, actually 2 of them, are Dotson from Kansas and Gifford from Nebraska. But he's a strong safety. Dotson, of course, had a really good college career. So have any of these guys, is it way too early? Have you heard anything at all about any of these college free agents about whether or not you think any of them have a shot to make the team? Because this is definitely a wide open opportunity to make the team.
No, you're absolutely right. These guys have the utmost best opportunity to make the roster, right? That cornerback room, we've got to get some bodies in there. And the only name that, again, just to preface this, I have not been at camp just because camp is closed. Typically, our camp is open. We're able to go out there, put our own 2 eyes on the field, and get our own opinions. So I have to base my my comments off of word of mouth and what's been printed. So what I've been hearing is Corey Thornton. Corey Thornton is the name that I've heard the most out of all of these names. He had a big day. He's going up against, again, another 6-foot guy, like shows on the screen. Nearly 200 pounds. They have a type. It's obvious that the Carolina Panthers have a type. They like the bigger cornerbacks, physical cornerbacks, and being in the NFC South when you got to deal with Mike Evans and the rest of those guys, we need some big physical cornerbacks. So Corey Thornton is the only name that I've really heard like that from a cornerback standpoint from the aqua color.
All right, now let's talk about. Let's stick on defense, actually. And what besides the secondary, then you mentioned getting Derek Brown healthy up front. Wharton and Bobby Brown were 2 huge additions. And if they're going to have a much better defensive go at it this year, it's that defensive line that really is going to dictate everything. That look to me, that looks like the strength of the defense.
Oh yeah, the defensive line is it went from an extreme weakness, giving up the most rushing yards ever in the history of the NFL, to now being a strength. This is a good situation. And listen, obviously Derek Brown coming off the injury, probably not going to be 100% himself, but a 70% Derek Brown is better than a lot of players in the league. So give me Derek Brown. Having him back is great. Bobby Brown, who we brought in from the Rams, heard great things about him. Athletic. He started off injured, but he's back now and he's ready to go. Tershawn Wharton is a name that is rising up the charts a lot. I've heard his name a lot. He had a great day. Just if you listen to any of the recaps from today's practice, He was dominant, stopping the runs and that is what we need. There was nothing going up the middle today, and that was due to Tershawn Wharton. You got some veterans and Patrick Jones coming off the edge. So yeah, I think this line has definitely improved from last year, and we definitely made it. We were intentional about improving it, and right now I think it's going to pay off.
Okay, so same thing. If because it's defensive line, so you have to rotate. We know that.
Yeah.
Robinson's been around before.
Oh, yeah.
Tuttle has been with the team for a little while. Are they hoping that, say, Crumedy and Jackson are those two guys that they're hoping will, especially even maybe Crumedy because he was here last year, that they can now get into the rotation and be a pretty big part of the defensive line depth?
Yeah, so I'm thinking, obviously, A'Shawn Robinson is a complete monster. You got to have A'Shawn Robinson out there. And the fact that A'Shawn Robinson's depth should be scary for the entire league. This guy is a monster. So shout out to A'Shawn Robinson. I would never want to see him in a phone booth anywhere. This guy is a complete dog. So A'Shawn Robinson is a great addition. Or not, we got him last year, but great depth. Cam Jackson is a big guy as well. I'm excited to see him obviously crack that rotation. He's going to be a depth play, a later round pick, so there isn't terribly high expectations for him, but we do expect him to crack the rotation. I expect probably Shy Tuttle to get cut. Cap casualty. I think he's going to be a cap casualty, which is why we went after Cam Jackson. Crumedy, I think, was injured last year a little bit. So these guys are going to have the opportunity to take a step forward. So I'm excited to see Cam Jackson, Crumedy, and I think you're probably going to see a guy like Shy Tuttle if the cap allows it. I have to check his contract. If it's not going to be damaging to the cap, go ahead and let him walk because I think you got solid depth now.
Okay. Harrison Hunt's a player also. I know might not be a bad one to stick on maybe at the practice squad. I think he's already 25 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Harrison Hunt like that.
He played with Miami, SMU. So he's played with 25 years old already. Yeah. Just turned 25. So he's not a kid anymore. So and that's good because you bring in a guy like that, then he's got the opportunity, especially you didn't draft him. So it's a good opportunity for free to see if he can maybe make an impact a lot sooner than some of these other kids. All right. So at linebacker, you mentioned Jones on the edge. You got Wonnum and Jones, and then the 2 draft picks. So at least if everything goes well, 4 deep. That's nice. That's what you want. Yep. What about Wonnum? Because Wonnum is a guy that has been dealing with some injuries. So how is his health? And I'm assuming that the team is hoping that he'll have a big year this year because they're going to need it.
Yeah, they're gonna rely on these former Viking pass rushers. You got Wonnum and you got Pat Jones. Those guys, with Wonnum, I think they're gonna take it slow with him. Like you said, he has been dealing with some injuries. They're gonna snap count him just to ensure that he's okay. I think he dealt with a little bit of stuff in the offseason, just trying to get back fully right. He did finish the season strong, so he's healthy. But I think they're just gonna try to take it slow with him. So Wonnum, I think that you're right. They do have high expectations for him and Patrick Jones, both of these guys. I think the entire edge room itself is going to have some expectations. We were not good at getting to the quarterback last year. In recent years, we just haven't been good at it. Ever since we had Hassan Reddick and Brian Burns, that tandem was the last double-digit sack tandem we've had, and that was 4 or 5 years ago. So it's been a while. So we need to get these guys back. Obviously, you got Uman Mielin, and we've got Nick Scorton that we just drafted. These guys are already tearing it up. I'm hearing Princely's name a lot. Obviously, he had a small little thing where he a little aggressive in camp and touched the quarterback when he wasn't supposed to touch the quarterback. So they slapped him on the hand for that. Rookie stuff you got to get used to practicing with. You can't touch the merchandise, so you got to be careful when touching the quarterback. Yeah, so I think he hit his arm or something like that in practice when he was throwing the football, and they got on him a little bit. But I love Princely. I love his aggressive. I like his attitude. I like he's really a guy that is a team guy. He's not going to take any mess from anybody, and I think he is going to be the guy that is really going to surprise some folks. I think this year, I think he's going to have a good year this year. I'm not saying double-digit sacks by any means, anything like that. I'm not going to go that far, but I think he's going to make an impact on those pass rush downs where it's third down. You get to pin your ears back. He's going to be the guy that's going to be able to convert those sacks.
Yeah, he is a little bit more of, I guess, looking like a pass rush specialist type of guy as opposed to scouting. So
yes. Scorton is more of a run stopper. He's bigger. He can pass rush too.
Sure.
But Princely's going to be more of your pass rush specialist.
DJ Johnson, is this a make or break camp for him? Have you heard anything about him?
I haven't heard much about DJ, but I think he's improving. Here's the thing with DJ. Listen, they brought him in. He's good against the run, right? He's not going to be your premier pass rush specialist, right? But he's solid against the run, which is what we need. So in situations where we're going to have to stop the run, I think he's going to have a role. He's going to make the team, right? He's going to make the team. I think he's going to have a role. They like him. Evero was on the staff when they brought him in. When they drafted him. So I think he's going to have a role until Evero is out of here. I don't think Evero is going to say, hey, we don't want this guy anymore, because they put their hat on him. They like him. They liked him. So I think they're going to continue to work with him and see what they can get out of him. I do think he has a role. He's not a pass rush specialist by any means, but when you need to stop the run, he can do it.
Okay. So that was, let's see. That was not a Dan Morgan pick then. So
that was not. That was a Scott Fitterer pick, but it was under Evero was on the staff, and Evero was the one that said, "I want this guy." So you got to put credence to that. One name you don't see up here, and this is the one we talked about on several shows in the past. Go check the archives. Is Amari Barno. We just released Amari Barno recently, and Amari Barno that project is over. The RAS superstar, the fastest 40 in the world from the edge perspective. He is no longer a member of the Carolina Panthers. That experiment is over.
Another combine star gone to the wayside.
Gone too soon.
Yep. And again, that's part of the reason why I guess Scott Fitterer isn't here anymore, because Johnson Arledge had him graded as a 6th or 7th round draft pick, not a round 3 pick. Okay. So inside linebackers, Wallace, how's his shoulder? This is also looking at the depth here. This is also something I guess on paper I would be a little bit concerned with. It looks like they've got Wallace and Roseboom. Okay, you can get by maybe at least for another year with Roseboom. I don't see a whole lot of depth after the starters though, unless there's someone in mind that you can tell me about.
No, so this is one that was a surprise to us, surprise to all Panthers fans. One name you don't see here is Josey Jewell. Yes. Josey Jewell was recently released due to his health. He's got some issues with concussions, and so he decided.
Was that the reason? Okay.
Yeah, that was the reason. He has issues with concussions, and he's recovering. He's trying to make sure now we could see him return. That is something that they've been discussing. Probably return under a different deal, more team-friendly deal. But Josey Jewell is a guy that was a starter and is no longer a starter, obviously. So yes, Josey Jewell is a guy that we would like to have back. I think he played pretty well last year considering circumstances, but right now we don't have him. So what we do have is Trevin Wallace, Roseboom. So both of those guys are projected starters. Behind him, Sherlis is solid. He's a guy that we've had on the roster for a couple years now, I believe. And one guy from an undrafted standpoint who I think we need to keep an eye on is Tuivasa Namora. He's a guy that I think has an opportunity to slide up and make the roster. I think he's solid. He's solid. I think he's had some solid college tape, UDFA. He's another guy that you might want to keep an eye on. And I haven't heard much about him from camp. Unfortunately, if I were at camp, my eyes would have been all over him, and I would have been able to have more of a report for you. But unfortunately, I don't. But I think he's a guy from an outside perspective, I would keep an eye on him.
Well, there's opportunities there as well. So, but yeah, this is really important for Trevin Wallace to take over now and get healthy, because they are going to need a good young player like that on the inside. Because you would think that next year that's going to be a spot that they're going to really zero in on at some point, either in free agency or the draft.
For sure.
Okay, so that's for defense. Over with the offense, let's just start with Bryce. What are you hearing? Is everything sounding good that he's ready to just take off where he left off at the end of last year?
Yep, he's locked in. I think that's the expectation from the entire fan base is, hey, no drop off. All right, we ended the season hot. Let's pick up from there and let's keep going. And I think that's the vibe around camp. I know we're going to try to slow walk this, but I think the conversation really revolves around the wide receivers. Bryce is Bryce. But when you look at that wide receiver room, that is where the rubber's hitting the road. And it's getting a lot of fanfare right now. A lot of people are talking about the wide receiver room. And when you talk about those top 5, 6 guys, it's a battle in there. Those guys are battling. But Bryce, if we're gonna take a step back, Bryce is fine. Bryce is doing a good job. He's taking the reins. He's got control of the offense. They're turning more over to him. So I think you'll see an improved Bryce Young, and he's gonna pick up where he left off. No question.
Yeah, that wide receiver room, because I'm familiar with it myself since in my dynasty rookie draft, the same dynasty league I'm in with your buddy Dave. I picked my first pick was Ted.
Yeah.
And boy, was I happy too, because I think I had like the 7th pick. And I was like, I'm never getting Ted with the 7th pick of the rookie draft. I'm not getting him. And I couldn't believe he was there. I was just so happy he was there. I think he's going to just be such a tremendous part of this offense. I think he is I'm not going to say can't miss, but he's just one of a lot of receivers get drafted in the top 10, the top 15, and not all of them succeed, but he's definitely going to succeed. He's one of these special looking players.
Yeah, I think he is exactly what the Carolina Panthers needed, right? He's exactly what Bryce Young needed. He's the type of receiver that Bryce Young loved in college, right? That guy that you can just throw the football up and he's going to erase every mistake, right? He's going to go up there and catch the 50-50 balls. His catch radius is insane. I don't know if you've been watching our Twitter, or the Panthers Twitter, or the Panthers X, right? I think that he's had some unbelievable catches in camp, right? And that's exactly what the Carolina Panthers need. It's exactly it. So I'm excited. Again, he hasn't been perfect. T-Mac has not been perfect in camp, right? There's been some comments from Canals that says, hey, he's had a couple of rough practices too, but that's what we would expect out of a rookie wide receiver that's adjusting to the physicality of the cornerbacks in the NFL, right? We just talked about the defensive side and how all those guys are 6 foot above and they're 200 pounds. T-Mac has to deal with that physicality, right? And he's getting adjusted to it. And so he's dealing with it. And he's going to get better. Iron is sharpening iron right now. And I expect big things from T-Mac. I do expect a nearly close to 1,000-yard season from T-Mac this year.
Oh, and I can imagine with Horn and McMillan going at it in practice, this is what you want. You want these really good players going up against each other, making them better, especially since Horn's a veteran. He's going to make McMillan a better player. Leggett, this is now a much better role for him, as we talked about. Thielen, of course, had an injury early on. Actually, the year before, came back last year, did a much better job, even though he's getting up there in age. But the man, matter of fact, I think his average went down to like under 10 yards per catch in 2023, which might have been like as bad as it's ever been for him. And then he came right back. I'm sure a lot of people thought, oh, that's it. It's over for him. Nope. Came right back last year and he got his average back up to where it normally is, right around 12, 13 per reception. And he just keeps on rolling.
Yep. Yeah. Adam Thielen's fine. He's the ageless wonder. He's up there, obviously. But yeah, he's going to be fine. I think he is Bryce Young's safety blanket. He's going to get a lot of touches regardless. He's going to always find the football. Leggett, I'm happy for Leggett. He is starting to turn the corner a little bit too. He's not the number 1 guy. I think he slots better in at a number 2. And I think he's exactly where he needs to be. He's going to be the guy to stretch the field. He's been burning it up in practice. He does have a rep against J.C. Horn that went kind of viral, where he basically torched J.C. Horn in practice. And JC kind of got upset and said, hey, why don't you post the plays where I'm making the plays? And it's funny enough, they did post a clip today from practice where JC Horn did intercept, I think Bryce Young, it may have been Bryce Young, and he was guarding Xavier Leggett. So they're battling in camp. It's really good. It's really good to see this iron is sharpening iron for sure. And we have seen Leggett. He's definitely turning a corner. He's getting better. Hope his biggest thing that we need to watch as the season progresses is he catching the football? I mean, he was getting open. His problem was not getting open last year. He was getting open. That was not the issue. The problem was catching the football. He had many drops a lot of more concentration drops. And I think it just got in his head. I think that issue is going to be fixed, and I think he's going to be fine. I expect big things. I expect at least 700 yards this year from Isaiah Leggett. At least.
And what's really interesting about this room is that obviously we've got Coker, and then you have Hunter Renfrow trying to make a comeback. And I mentioned before when we talked after the draft that I really like Kobe Hudson as a CFA. So maybe he can at least make the practice squad, because this is going to be a hard room.
Oh yeah,
with the David Moore. You know, we all know how much the coaching staff likes him. So you would think the top 6 there on our board are probably the only 6 that might make it, unless Renfrow has a really good camp.
Oh, he's having a really good camp.
Is he?
Hunter Renfrow is Hunter Renfrow. He is exactly who we thought he was going to be. He's having probably the best camp of anybody out there. And I think expectations were a little low for him coming off of that, the condition he was dealing with. I can't say it. I would say it, but I can't say it. The ulcerative colitis. I think that's how you say it.
That's close. I like that.
Yeah,
that's
close enough. Close enough. I nailed it.
Hey,
I nailed it. So that's what he's dealing with. And he's getting better. Obviously, he's still gonna have to deal with it throughout the season. But man, he's out there looking really sharp. His routes are clean. He's catching the football. He's developing chemistry with Bryce Young. Everybody's raving about how good he is. And so I do expect him to push up that depth chart. And I think personally, David Moore could be in danger, because if the only reason you're on the roster is because of your relationships with the coach, I think that could cause danger, especially when Hunter Renfrow has return ability. And that's what kept David Moore on the roster as well, was his ability to return. So Hunter Renfrow is getting reps at punt return, and that spells danger for David Moore.
Yeah, because we know Jimmy Horn will be on specials. So number 2, if that's Renfrow, there's no room for number 3.
Bingo. Yeah. Bingo. That is correct. And that's what I've been telling Panther Nation, is that when you drafted multiple, not just Jimmy Horn, you drafted multiple guys that have return ability. ETN also has return ability. So you basically have prepared yourself for this, right? And now you have Hunter Renfrow, who's now taking reps. To me, that basically eliminates David Moore's role when you have guys like Coker. Coker, to me, is a better receiver than David Moore. And we can no longer use the excuse of, oh, he knows the playbook. Well, this is year 2 for everybody in the system. Everybody knows the playbook now. You know what I mean? So that's no longer a thing. So, again, I think David Moore is going to be a very solid practice squad player. I think you bring him back. I think he should clear and bring him back as a practice squad player. But outside of that, I think we're going to keep 6, maybe 7. Maybe David Moore is the 7th guy. But I think the 6 are going to be T-Mac, Leggett, Adam Thielen, Hunter Renfrow with the way things are going. Jimmy Horn Jr. and Jalen Coker are going to be 6 receivers.
Okay, so if all things being equal and everybody's healthy and it's a really good season and all of that, do you think it's possible that one of the 3 starters are not one of the 3 most productive receivers? Could Coker, could Renfrow, could one of those 2 end up as a top 3 receiver?
I don't see that. I think the top 3 are the top 3 from a production standpoint. Now, those guys might get out there. They might get reps. But I think from a production standpoint, I think T-Mac is going to be one. He's going to have the big plays. T-Mac is going to be T-Mac. So I expect him to produce the most. Thielen is going to be the catch-all. He's Mr. Third Down, right? If you need something clutch, you're going to Adam Thielen, right? And Xavier Leggett is going to be able to stretch the field. So I think those guys are going to be the top 3 producers. Everybody else is going to produce. Even Jimmy Horn, if you ask him, he knows that too, because Jimmy Horn, they asked him about his in-season production stats and what he expects for his season. And he said, I just want to have like 250 yards, right? So he knows too that the ball's going to have to spread around, and it's going to be slim pickings for everybody else. And barring any injuries, of course.
Okay. Now, those tight ends, those 2 young tight ends you talked about, how's Sanders as far as his health? And because, again, with Tremble out, that means it's possible that one of those other tight ends, one of those other 4 guys might make the team. And I don't think any of those 4 guys have been in the NFL much, if at all. So that means that Sanders and Evans are going to be counted on an awful lot, at least early on.
Yeah. So I think Ja'Tavion Sanders, man, he slimmed down. He's getting better. I think he has a new look. He's focused on the game. I think he's going to have a very solid season as well. I think he's locked in, ready to go. Remember, he did have a little bit of an injury he dealt with towards the end of the season, kind of landed on his neck. After he came back from the injury, that he wasn't the same. He was really producing before he got injured.
Yep.
And after, I think it felt like after he got injured, he kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit. Bryce started looking elsewhere, and he just couldn't crack back to the same way he was before before he got injured. So I think that Ja'Tavion Sanders is going to be back as long as he's healthy. He's going to be solid. Now the other guys, here's what I think. I don't think anybody else. You see the last four names on that roster. I don't think they're going to be around. With all due respect, I think that what's going to happen is if Tommy Tremble is not ready and not going to come back, they're going to bring a guy back like Jordan Matthews. Jordan Matthews has been on and off this roster for a long time, so he knows the system. I think they'll just call him back and say, "Hey, Jordan, we need you back. Can you come back and lock in with us?" I think he's the backup plan if something goes awry. I think they're expecting Tommy Tremble to be back and progress all the way back and kind of make it back in time to start the season off.
Okay.
If not, I do think Mitchell Evans, and he's probably my favorite pick from this draft. Mitchell Evans, I'm telling you, this kid is special. He's special, and I hope that he gets opportunities because it may take some time. It may take some time for him to really, really dive to crack into the rotation. But man, once he does, he's so steady, good blocker, very good from 0 to 10 yards. Very good tight end, bro. So I like him. I hope he gets more opportunities. And I've heard his name quite a bit. So I think he's gonna do well for sure.
All right, and then at running back, Chuba, it just keeps getting better. Rico comes in after a 1,000-yard season with the Cowboys, and as you mentioned, they drafted Trevor in round number 4. So the top 3 look really good, really set. How do you see the touches distributed here? Chuba's definitely, what do you think, 60-40?
Yeah, you took it right out of my mouth. 60-40 is what I think the spread is going to be. One thing that Dave Canales mentioned is that you're going to be able to take Chuba off and keep the same play calls, right? You don't have to switch up the play calls because you got Rico coming in. So that keeps defenses off on their toes. And I think that, I think that both of those guys are going to have a lot. Again, they don't want to put it all on one plate. We've seen that. We've made that mistake with Christian McCaffrey in the past. I think this is going to be a committee approach, but I do think the committee is going to be led by Chuba. Chuba is coming off 1,000-yard season. I think he's going to have another. He's going to be great. Chuba is a really good running back that is developed. And I'm glad he did, because I got to be honest, he's another guy that I didn't like. I did not like this pick when we first picked him up. But, Matt Rule's wife is to thank for us picking up Chuba Hubbard. And I hated it. I hated that. I hated the fact that this guy's wife was the one that was responsible for this pick.
Okay.
Right. So, and he has gotten better and better and better. It's been a slow walk, right? But he is exactly what you want to see from a development standpoint. You want to see guys get better and better and better each year. He had hands for bricks the first 3 seasons of his career, and now he can catch out the backfield. He's gotten better. There you go. See, you got it. It's perfect.
That's it. He needs to clean up his ball skills.
Yep. He's gotten better though.
And pass catcher.
He's gotten better.
Okay. So it looked like they're in really good shape there, and really the skill positions are all set. The quarterback's developing nicely, and then it's the offensive line. And look, there are a lot of teams out there in the NFL that you could look at right now, and you go, yeah, I don't know about that offensive line. I mean, Houston's one of those teams, and Houston's a division champ the last 2 years, and they have all sorts of issues and questions along the offensive line. But the Panthers over the last couple of years have sure done a really good job of drafting and also adding some free agents. And Taylor Moton is the one constant. So in order for them to take the next step, what needs to happen?
Keep rolling. Keep rolling. They brought back every guy from the roster last year. So this is a situation where we're good. We had a top 10 offensive line last year. I believe this is a top 10, a top 5. It can be a top 5 group. chemistry, right? You need chemistry amongst the offensive line. You got to know how to communicate. One thing that is important, we got Austin Corbett back, right? So Austin Corbett is a guy that that's been dealing with injuries the past couple of seasons. But you also got Cade Mays, who is a very capable, extremely capable. In fact, I like Cade Mays more than I like Austin Corbett, to be honest with you. And the fact that he's a backup is crazy, right? So I love I don't know when the last time I could say this, and it feels really good to say this, but I love our offensive line. Like, I absolutely love it. The two interior guards are great. Damian Lewis, Robert Hunt, awesome additions last year. Those guys have paid off. We're paying them a lot of money, but it's completely paid off. Well worth the investment because you're protecting your investment in Bryce Young. This offensive line is more than solid. The biggest concern I have is when we're going to extend Taylor Moton. That's the biggest thing, and that's not an on the field thing. That's an off the field thing.
Okay. And Icky, in order for him to get better, it's about the pass protection, correct?
Pass protection, yep, that's correct. He's a solid run blocker, but he's got to get better in pass sets. Again, I think he's going to continue to develop. This is a contract year for him, so I fully expect for him to reach his potential.
Okay. Give me a breakout player on both sides of the ball, offense, defense, a veteran on the team. And what I mean by veteran, just somebody that at least was there for a year, that you think is ready to take that next step.
Yeah, the easy answer for the offense is going to be Xavier Legette. I think he's going to break out this year. He had a very disappointing season last year, and I think that he's better than what he showed. So I think he's going to get better. I think the breakout is going to be XL on the offense. Defensively, the easy answer would be I can't use Derrick Brown. That's cheating.
No, you can't use.
I won't use Derrick Brown.
That's comeback player of the year.
Exactly, comeback.
Yeah.
I think a guy
that's
that you watch,
by the way. Comeback player of the year.
Comeback player of the year.
I got to look at the odds on that one.
I think you might want to put some money on that. Put some money on it. Put a couple dollars on it. I think that a guy you need to keep an eye on, a breakout player for me is going to be Damani Richardson. Damani Richardson's starting free safety. I think that he is the reason why that we haven't looked to bring in somebody else. Everybody wanted us to go and bring back, what's the guy that just got signed by Julian Blackmon just got signed by the Saints. They wanted us to bring him in. They want us to bring in Ramsey. They want us to bring in all these guys. But Damani Richardson is a guy, I call him, and Panthers fans that watch this, they know, I call him the Jalen Coker of the defense.
Yes.
He's an undrafted guy last year, and he worked his way up into starting opportunity and kept it. And so I think he's a guy that is going to be very good for us. He's a ball hawk. He's a free safety. He's got good range. I think he's going to be very solid. Very solid for Damani Richardson.
Yeah, look at that. 5-year starter at Texas A&M. That's a lot of experience in big-time football. So that's what you need. You need these college free agents to develop and to give you an opportunity. So, when you're running low on funds, those guys definitely make it a lot easier on your salary cap. So here's the comeback player of the year. Look at that, Hunter Renfrow.
Hunter Renfrow is interesting.
90-1. I think he's the first Panther I've seen.
There's too much ahead of him, though. I think he'll be like a rotational.
Yeah.
There's too much ahead of him. I don't think he'll do it.
Someone would have to get hurt.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't want that.
No, we don't. No.
Knocking on wood.
Let's see. I'm not seeing Brown here at all. No.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm surprised, especially, usually a really good player that's out for the year that comes back, that would be a no-brainer. So, yeah, I'm surprised by that. Okay, so let's take a look, though.
I put a couple pennies on Hunter, though.
And by the way, just because he's not here doesn't mean you can't get him. I'm sure you can get Derrick Brown somewhere. Let's see. Well, we don't need Super Bowl. Let's go to division winner.
Oh, we do need a Super Bowl, man. We're going to the Super Bowl.
Stop.
Put it on there.
Okay, well, before we do that, let's be more reasonable and start with the NFC South. They're the third choice. Of course, everybody knows where the Saints are going to be this year. So, but this is a really good race. These are three teams now. The Panthers have put themselves in position to battle for this division title this season. So Tampa Bay can't have some sort of an off year, injuries, anything like that, that happens. Atlanta and Carolina could be right there. And so the Panthers are 4-1 right now as the third choice.
Yeah, I think we're better than a lot of people think. I think that I would certainly put it, and again, I'm not a betting man, but if I'm using your money, I would put some money on the Carolina Panthers. I'll put a little bit on
I'm going to
the
put
Panthers
it.
winning the South.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be there, but I'm definitely going to be betting them a lot week to week early because they're not going to, it's going to take a while for them to get some respect. So let's see. These division specials sometimes are pretty cool. Here we go. Let's see. Carolina.
This was not bad. First one. Yeah, I would look at that one, and I would look
8-1.
The second one on that list with Tampa Bay finishing first, and
Tampa Bay first, Carolina 3-1.
I think that's another one. Yep,
that's not bad either because you're getting almost the same number as the Panthers winning it,
right?
And yet, if they just finish second to the Bucks, you're getting still the same price, so that's not bad. I like that. Let's see. Let's take a look now at what's it. You want to look at Super Bowl? Okay.
Yeah, man.
Let's look at Super Bowl for you.
I put some on there.
Come on, move this thing correctly. There you go. All right, where are the Panthers? Oh, there they are. No, that was Cleveland. We don't want to compare those two teams. Let's see, where'd they go? There it is, 120-1. So, and don't feel bad about this disrespect because this is ridiculous right here. That the Jets are 250-1 is insane.
Yeah.
But Carolina 120-1.
Listen, I will say this just for those that do bet and kind of follow these things. I will say this. I'd be remiss if I didn't. Is that the last two times the Carolina Panthers went to the Super Bowl, we opened up the season against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, we're opening up the season against the Jacksonville Jaguars this year.
Okay.
So if all goes to plan,
all right,
if the stars align, we're going to the Super Bowl. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. Look it up. It's a real thing.
Well, getting to the Super Bowl, let's see, it should be half the price. So they're 50-1, which I would definitely take a lot more than the 120 because 50 is still pretty good.
Yep.
So 50-1.
So put us in the books, NFC South champions. NFC champions.
NFC, yeah. Let's take a look one game at a time, my friend. Because this is one of those games that, again, that I like already off the bat because they're getting 3. And I think this number should be even. And this just tells you that they're not getting any respect right now.
That's crazy right there.
I agree.
That is crazy. I put all my money on that.
All of your money?
Everything. I put my paycheck on it.
Okay. So Panthers +3, +136 on the money line there. Why is this popping out? Let's see. I want to swing in the schedule. All right. So here they go. Jacksonville. Then at Arizona, which is not a bad game. That's okay. That's a winnable game. And then you get the big showdown there. And then another winnable game at New England.
Yep.
And another winnable game home against the Dolphins. Another winnable game at home against the Cowboys.
Well, I think Cowboys they play us tough. That's basically a home game for them coming to Charlotte. So I think it's winnable, but it'll be tough.
Tough. That's a winnable game at the Jets. Yeah. Well, then you get the tough games.
Yeah.
Buffalo at Green Bay.
We got a tough stretch.
Easy one there. At Atlanta, at San Francisco, that's getting hard. Rams at home is getting hard.
Yeah.
And then at New Orleans, Tampa, Seattle. So, yes. Tampa Bay, 2 out of the last 3 games.
We'll get them, though. We're going to get one of them.
Schedule.
It always happens like that, man.
That's stupid.
It is dumb.
You make him wait till week 16 to take on the Bucks, and then 2 weeks later, you play him again.
Well, that's how, because they know what's going to happen, right? That last game is probably going to be for the division.
Well, that would be nice.
The story's been written.
You'll take that.
I would take that.
You should. I would. Like I said, I think this is going to be a really good year.
And you notice on that game it was TBD, right? So they're
getting ready for a nationally televised primetime game.
Exactly, because they know what's going to happen. They already know. So
Seattle the week before. Seattle. See, that's the thing you
tough.
love about the NFL is teams like Seattle and Dallas, and you don't know what kind of season they're going to have. So, and that Jet game on October 19th, maybe we'll talk that week because we'll both be off to good starts. We'll both be defying expectations around the league. Panthers and Jets.
Well, I know one of us will. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. Everyone's had 6 games. We'll go in there at 4-2 each. How about that? Battle of 4-2 teams.
I'll take that.
Imagine that. That'll be like, who would have thought it? We did.
I will take that.
We thought it. What's going on at Panther Nation Podcast, Rashad? Doing everything. I mean, you don't stop, right? Every day. Is that basically it?
Yeah. So we're weekly. I don't every day. It's tough,
okay.
Right? We're weekly. So at least one show a week. Once we get into the season, we'll do some previews. We will go live. Do live in-game reactions. So that stuff is fun. Obviously for the home games, I'll be at the games, but the away games, I do live stream. Yeah, man, it's all good stuff. We got, we're working on a live show here. So we'll be doing a live show in Charlotte, locally, Talk Panthers. We'll try to get some special guests to come through. But yeah, man, we're just having fun with it, man. It's Panther Nation Podcast, myself and Dave. We're just having fun, man. Just having fun.
Yeah. When do you do the show each week? Same day?
Each week, every Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock. Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Check us out. Come over and subscribe. We're just under 25,000 subscribers. So please,
that's awesome.
Come on over and sub up. It'll help us out tremendously. Even if you're not a Panthers fan, you will be soon.
I hear you. This is a team to like. They're on the rise.
Absolutely.
And I'm looking forward to it. So I'm looking forward also to talking to you during the season because we don't usually get a chance to talk during the season.
Right.
Because the seasons aren't worth talking during the season. But we're going to talk this season. I know it.
Yep.
At least once or twice. So I'm looking forward to that, Rashad. I appreciate your time. Links in the description. If you haven't checked out Rashad before, you can find out exactly how to hook up with him on social media and also on the YouTube channel. All you have to do is click the links right here in the description of this video. And Rashad, I appreciate your time, man. And I look forward to talking to you during the season.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Always a pleasure coming on the show and chopping it up and talking Panthers football, man. I appreciate you.
You got it. Thanks, Rashad.
All right, man. Thanks.
All right. That's Rashad Beard, the Panther Nation Podcast. And we just want to remind everybody that this is one of many. Matter of fact, we're aiming for all 32 team previews. So hopefully none of our analysts who cover the teams have any scheduling conflicts. We've already hit, I think, about at least a handful of NFL teams at this point. So we still have quite a bit to go, but that means we are going to just barrage you in August with tons of interviews with really excellent analysts like Rashad for all sorts of teams in the NFL and college football too. Matter of fact, this week here, we've already, this is the end of, this is the end of our interviews for team previews. If you're into college football, you might know Dennis Dodd from CBS Sportsline. He's no longer with CBS Sportsline, and we're going to be talking to Dennis a little bit college football at 4:00 Eastern right here on our channel here, Proline TV and the Our Lads Football Network. You can also check out the link in the description in case you're into the NFL draft. That's where you can find a link to the Our Lads website where you can order the draft review guide from this past year. And if you haven't already, you can still order the draft guide. You can also get a PDF version. And it's the best draft guide out there. Rashad knows. He gets one every year. And Rashad does a great job filling me in with everything that's going on with Carolina because I'm responsible for writing Carolina Panther content in the draft guide. The actual guide that comes out before the draft and the draft review, I'm responsible for commenting on how the Panthers did. And I always talk to Rashad first before I put my report out. And he's a big reason why I am able to talk the way I am about the Panthers and why I'm just as excited as he is about this upcoming season. So that's going to wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already done it, please subscribe, like the video, all that stuff. Support the channel. We appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you here again. Hey, if you're just a Panther fan, you want to come back whenever Rashad's on, that works too. And again, if they're going to have a good season, trust me, Rashad will be on this channel and we'll be interviewing Rashad at least several times during the season. And I hope all the way through to the playoffs. I really hope so. I think that is a definite possibility. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you